Yeah, there's a lot going on this week. There's a lot of conversations that have been going on for the past couple weeks, and I was trying to decide what I wanted to talk about today. And one of the things that I really feel very strongly about and have had a lot of conversations about over the years, and this has come back again because of the Oscars, and it's been an ongoing conversation online and just within the business, which is this journalist versus creator conversation. Do creators, you know, belong on the red carpet? Do they belong in spaces that traditional journalists have existed in? And there's a lot of opinions flying around about this. I think I personally am a pretty qualified person to give my opinion on this, being a creator and being trained as a traditional journalist and working my entire career in the opinion space. So I've touched on all these things at a very high level. I went to school for broadcast journalism. I graduated with honors from a private university, a school that I sit on the board of trustees on now. So I have all of those qualifications. I've also worked in the creator space for a very long time. I've worked in the digital space for a very long time. My opinion on this is pretty simple. Don't take jobs you're not qualified for. And if you're going to take a job you're not qualified for, do the work so that you at least appear competent. And if you are struggling, be honest with the audience about that. There's no reason that creators shouldn't be in those traditional journalist spaces. They're going to be in those spaces. The world has changed. Traditional journalism still has a very, very important place in the business, in media, and it's very necessary. But when we're talking about the shifting media landscape and creators getting these huge jobs and these huge opportunities, it's because they've built online communities, and those businesses, those spaces, they want to use those creators to bring their audience to these spaces. They want to target different audiences. They want to target young people. They want to expand the reach of their production. So let's just use the Oscars, for example. And the reason that this has become controversial is because obviously there have been some creators who have been given these opportunities who have, quite frankly, bombed. They have been embarrassing. They have not known who particular artists or particular actors or directors were. They were clearly not researched. They were clearly not people who were qualified to be in live spaces. And they didn't really respect the opportunity that they were given. That doesn't mean that they should never be in those spaces. But I do think that from my career perspective and the things that I've done throughout almost 20 years, there's been opportunities that I've turned down because I wasn't qualified for it, that were offered to me. And I was like, look, I don't really know this space very well. I'm not going to do a very good job. I will do it. I can do it, but I'm sure that there's someone better for this opportunity. Now, obviously, I was far enough in my career that turning down that opportunity didn't change my life. But if you are of a mindset that every opportunity is for you, you're going to take that job. And I probably would have ended up embarrassing myself. And to me, the long-term success of my career was more important than that one job in that one moment. I've also turned down huge opportunities because those opportunities were going to hurt someone that I cared about, like it was going to affect their career. So I can speak from a space of absolute experience when it comes to this. And I've been in situations where it was my first time and I didn't really do a very good job. I didn't have all of the tools given to me, and I wasn't experienced enough to really do the level of job that I wanted to do. That's all those things have happened to me. That doesn't mean that I quit. It doesn't mean that I didn't deserve that opportunity, but I do think that you should respect an opportunity that you're given if you're not qualified for it, which a creator is not necessarily qualified to do a live red carpet show. Just because you have an audience doesn't mean that you're qualified for every opportunity that has an audience. So if you're given that opportunity as a creator, do the research, practice, ask questions, ask for advice, and be humble going into a space that really is not a traditional space for you. As far as the journalist side of it goes, y'all, grow up. Like, the world changes. The business of journalism, the business of media changes like every 6 months. It's not going to remain the same. The world that we went to school in 20 years ago doesn't exist. These shows, these YouTube shows, streaming, those kind of technologies were not even functioning at the time. Stop acting like everybody owes you something. No one owes you anything. These people, these creators, have cultivated huge audiences. They have done the work in a different form, for sure, but they have done the work to build audiences. At the end of the day, we all know what this is about. Numbers, ratings, eyeballs. That's how this whole business works. So if they have a loyal audience, different platforms are going to seek those audiences out. That's how it works. And yes, sometimes they're going to have a misstep and hire somebody who's unqualified, and it's going to affect their product. But you're not owed that space just because you're a trained journalist. You also have to do the work to keep up with the ever-changing landscape of media. That means you need to be on social media. You need to be making content. You need to show that you can have crossover across a bunch of different platforms. So I know a lot of different creators have weighed in, kind of defending the creator space. Just, keep it light, not too much on my girl, okay? Because y'all do have work to do when it comes to the live space, when it comes to being professional in these spaces. You're dealing with people who are having the biggest night of their lives, the Oscars, the Grammys, and some of you are on the red carpet looking crazy, looking unqualified, looking ignorant, looking like you don't know who Babyface is. Okay, so let's not act like this conversation has come out of nowhere. It's completely fair. However, I got to give it to the journalists too. Y'all need to be shifting with the ever-changing media landscape as well. You can't just rest on the fact that you went to journalism school. It's cute. I went too. It was very helpful. But the world is different now, and you have to be able to keep up with it. And nobody owes you anything. I can't say this enough. No one owes you anything. Just because you're super qualified does not mean that you are what they are looking for right now. That's just the reality of it. And it doesn't mean that you have to cheapen yourself if that's how you feel, or become a social media star. Trust me, you don't see me doing TikTok dances. Okay? There might be two videos on earth of me doing TikTok dances, and they're embarrassing. It's not what I do. But that's not the world. Do what you do and do it well, and make sure that you're available across different platforms. So that's my speech on that. I think I'm very qualified to speak on it. I've had these experiences. I know it's very controversial, but it is what it is, guys. The world has changed. As a creator and as a journalist, I see both sides of this very clearly. I think there are points made on both sides. What I would also say to the platforms is, don't embarrass yourselves, okay? Please. Some of these creators do not know what they're doing. It doesn't mean you need to hire a journalist to do it either, but do some research and make sure that they're at the very least going to know who it is that they're interviewing and be engaged the entire time. Or we could do a happy medium where we hire a qualified journalist who's done live work to work with the creator. We could do that as well. There are solves for this, guys. So that's my rants on the creator journalist debate. I'm sure we'll revisit it throughout the season because I'm sure this is going to come up again. But had to weigh in because it continues to go on and everybody has their opinion about it. I think there's a solve for all of it.